prepare for Rate of Foot, making that push in. There it is, the perfectly timed gadget. We saw him go down anyway, but that is exactly what Algame Segura are up against.
But you mentioned the use of the berry gadget as the stun comes in. There was no stun because it was a gadget used for Rate of Foot, but the answer was there for Adinho. Guardo is still sitting pretty on 6 gems and has immense map control with these shots of Brabao. It's a second consecutive one. Guardo now has an Iron Hive at the ready, but won't need to use it until Algame Segura can actually step up and challenge for some mid control. So this puts Guardo up to 8 gems and counting, and Algame Segura getting 1v3'd by Firecrow, who was just inting down mid, looking for Rate of Foot. Here comes Adinho to the rescue with a big hypercharge super, and the healing is just ridiculous. Brabao tries to challenge Guardo, but he'll take a 9th gem here, and the little helpers will put the fear of God in Golden, as at least they have this mid control, but Loud are 1 gem away from Countdown City.
Golden is in mid, and he snuck in there with the invisibility, and I don't know if it somehow triggered Kyodog's like Spidey sense over here, but he supered exactly where Golden was while he was invisible. That's the kind of game sense that these guys are bringing to the brawl. There's a double stun from Rate of Foot. He's got it! All 9 gems, and Brabao carrying 4, Golden 4 apiece as well. Now, just holding on to mid, they got to prepare for this final push. 10 seconds to go. That's 5 gems back to the possession of Loud. Now turning over the possession of Kyodog, but they know that this one's over. They're not tracking down Rate of Foot. 1 second to go, and Algame Segura, what a theft from Rate of Foot.
And, you know, I guess this Juju, who over the course of a round is just going to be a constant nuisance. Loud have got to tighten up the gameplay here already. I think there's no other way to put it. That is a dirty, rattled Hive, though. Rate of Foot tries to go deep and should get picked off here. The little helpers, ultimately unnecessary, as they'll look to chase Brabao away.
Algame Segura now forced out of mid. They do not have any control. They're just going to have to leverage these lanes to mount a sort of surrounding strategy. See Rate of Foot now in long range, denied once again by the gadget of Adinho. Firecrow eliminates things on the enemy side. Ideally, these gems go to either Kyodog or Adinho, but they can't be bothered to go and pick them up. They're just going to hold the position, make sure that Golden doesn't become too much of a nuisance. Now with him down, it's a 2v2, an even matchup for them at mid, but they got to know that Firecrow is sneaking up on the right side, getting the healing now. Brabao has to dash away. Here's the hypercharge from Adinho to keep them alive. Another double stun from Foot. Couldn't get that one finished. Brabao also in a tricky situation with the hypercharge now coming down. Has to pop one of his own, but ultimately falls. Loud with 10 gems.
They should be able to walk away with this here in just a moment. 1 more gem required. Rate of Foot able to take that away from Firecrow. But that could have been much worse. Rate of Foot that was cycling into another super, and it just takes 1 to close a round out here for Algame Segura. Loud have to respect what this Buzz can do. They want to push up, but Firecrow takes a face load of damage here. There is plenty of healing being thrown down by Adinho, but again, they've got to keep tabs on where this Buzz is playing from. Firecrow is hoping to draw out the super, and they do. A stun goes down onto the Ash, and Rate of Foot does not connect. Nobody dropping any gems now as Adinho sets the game plan and the game field. With the hypercharge healing getting thrown down as Firecrow is able to pop that super, get a gem away from Rate of Foot. This will start the countdown. Brabao has to chase this down himself. Kyodog will get healed up by the super from Adinho, and Loud should be smooth sailing here, especially with that gadget from Rate of Foot missing.
Missed utility from Rate of Foot is going to cost them everything, it looks like. Just 3 seconds to go. Brabao now closing in, but everyone has too much health. Loud, close it out.
The responsibility that he carries in a being the hard initiator with that hard CC in the form of the stun.
We are seeing like some double stuns in here from Rate of Foot. Here comes, nope, not another. Adinho rejects once again. That's a takedown onto Brabao. That secures mid for Loud, but Golden once again is determined to be in these rear positions, completely going into the enemy ramparts, trying to get some control from there. Soften up the enemies so Brabao and Rate of Foot can close in and get those assassinations. But with Rate of Foot falling on the left side, this is going to be a tough battle. Brabao also now having to fight through some of these spawnables as well. Is challenging, but not too much. In fact, it's provided enough time for Rate of Foot now to come back to mid. Ideally, they would get Juju in a position quickly. They're going to weaken up Firecrow, and here's a rejection. Hypercharge and supers in from Adinho to secure mid back once again.
And ready, I think the Rattled Hive here is actually pretty good at countering Golden's attempts to try and get behind Loud, because there's a bunch of free damage. Kyodog doesn't have to fully commit their attention to dealing with this Juju. Just throw the gadget out, get some good damage, send Firecrow over there to just run them down, and Bob's your uncle. Loud here, now up to 7 gems, and Adinho once more denies Rate of Foot the engage.
Every single time. This is the lifeblood of the enemy team. Literally, it is all the healing for the enemy squad. We cannot seem to reach it. thanks to the gadget that Barry always has. We got 5 seconds to go. Golden, Brabal trying to close in. Some movement out here, but that Barry hypercharge means that nothing is going to punch through that